So hello everyone. I'm using a software that is named WebbyPaint, made by Ling, that is actually in the room. Hi, Vaughan.
Hi, Vaughan.
Like some more pressure.
Uh-huh.
And the software is a derivation or a baby of a former or an older app called WebbyPaint that was developed by Vaughan, and how to introduce that. It's what actually reconnected me with digital sketching, because before this app, before this tool, I was using Photoshop, and I ended up all the time trying to make perfect pictures, nice illustrations, etc. And it's kind of, I don't know, cumbersome or always a bit too stiff. And when I realized, or when I discovered WebbyPaint, the tools were just so close to traditional tools in a way. It kind of put back accidents in the making of pictures, which is kind of a lack in digital pictures. It's always something we add on top, like textures and grain, etc. But it's not part of the process when we paint with digital tools. And WebbyPaint and WebbyPaint brought back this dirt in a way, these traces of, or these accidents of the painter behind the pictures, and that is why I'm using this one. Sorry, it's a bit long of an intro. I'm starting to paint now.
Mm-hmm. All good.
Cool. Just for everyone to understand where it comes from. So usually when I, sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, can I so if someone wants to try out this app, you can just go to webbypaint.com and try it out in your browser, right?
Yes, you don't even have to install
accessible.
anything. It's online. I think that WebbyPaint version has been developed with web development tools, or like stuff that the browser understands, so that the language is compatible with all the platforms. You can use it on an iPhone, you can use it on an Android device. I'm used to use it on an iPad, and here I'm on my desktop computer.
That's awesome, because my iPad is too old to accommodate a stylus, and I use a Microsoft Surface, so I can't get the app. I think the app is only available for iOS. So I'm so excited to try WebbyPaint.
Actually, I think you can use it on Windows. I mean, I'm using it on Windows. I was using it on Windows. The WebbyPaint app.
Oh,
but WebbyPaint is much lighter, much faster, and I don't know if it's much more fun, but it's cool.
The interface is so different from all the other painting apps I've used, that all kind of more or less kind of copy Photoshop.
Yeah, exactly.
It's really cool. Especially love the way that the color tool and the color sliders work. It makes you think about color in a totally different way.
Yeah, it's much more natural, or like natural media in a way. You think about the color and not about how you're gonna achieve the final result, but you think, okay, what goes with the blue? What kind of connection I can have with those colors? What's the palette like, etc. And yeah, I think it's a great thing for students or actually beginners in digital art to play with. It's a really, I don't know what other I can say than natural. It becomes natural, maybe, when you use it long enough. So for the ones looking at my picture, I'm actually just trying to start with the background, finding the more or less lines and landmarks that will encapsulate everything. And the fun part is that I don't really think about the contour, the outline of anything. I'm just like adding blocks of colors. That's also something I really like with WebbyPaint. I used to paint with the selection tool in Photoshop, the lasso. And basically you were just tracing lines and then filling it with a bucket. And with WebbyPaint, you can do this in one gesture. You can use one tool that is actually the lasso tool. And when you're drawing that shape, it's feeding it directly for you. So it's a very fast process. Sometimes I will mix it with a little bit of lines, so I can fall back onto something my brain understand when it's too abstract. So this is the door on the left, and here I'll start with the character, more or less. When I was walking those streets, I was just really enjoying seeing her standing, facing the camera, like actually as a model. We were talking about fashionable people before.
Yeah.
It looks like almost like a commercial or something. I don't know for what.
The silhouette is really strong.
Yeah.
Like the way her feet are kind of hanging over the curb. And like the matching scarf to the background. And if you look in the reference photo and turn left, there's some guys that also match the next door over. It's a colorful place. In this app, can you use layers, or is it all in one layer?
I think not on WebbyPaint yet, but HeavyPaint has layers. They are very, very similar. So if you're using one of them, you can switch to the other one in a minute. But I don't think it's happening yet, the layers on WebbyPaint.
If anyone has questions, feel free to put them in the chat and we will ask them to Julien.
The thing I used to work with this, Photoshop color selection tool. So usually you have a rectangle with an easy access to a color. And when I started with HeavyPaint, I started with these RGB sliders, the one you see just above my picture. And at the start, it was kind of, I don't know, frightening because it looks super technical and stuff, but actually it's very easy. When you go 100% left, you have black color, 100% white, right, you have white. And then it's just about mixing the colors, like just enough blue, red, and green so that you have the tint or the hue you want to use. And from that time, I cannot go back to using the rectangle or the classical color selection tool. It looks like I feel like a mad scientist or something, maybe. With these tools, it makes me feel intelligent. Thank you, Bob.
But you are. Okay, we have a question in the chat. Surab is asking, is there a way to blend colors within this tool?
I don't use WebbyPaint for so long, so I don't know yet if there is the blur tool or the mixing tool. Let me check. You see the tools here, but in WebbyPaint, in HeavyPaint, sorry, you have the mix brush or the mixing tool. But you also have, like, for example, this one, fan fade. Some tools that are not so sharp or not so, you don't have an outline too harsh, and so you can play with these different tools. Or you have, I'm very used to these super strong tools, but you have stuff that are more, fluffy or more abstract, and then you can play and blend with different colors, like scratch tools, etc. I'm sorry, I'm going very quick in my demo to the core of the thing, but if you play with the tools, like you will realize how much of a tool of a toy this is. It's really like having like a paint box when you're 5 years old, and you're like, okay, do whatever you want, and that's super fun.
Hermanns Schule hat uns benachrichtigt. Stimmt es, dass der Sohn seit Wochen nicht mehr am Unterricht teilgenommen hat?
Okay.
Need a translation for that. So in my way of drawing or painting, I'm usually working with very strong shapes or blocky shapes, let's say. And after that, I will come with layers on top and try to refine things, try to make it more solid or more precise. So this is what I'm doing now with her scarf. I just painted the outer shape of her head, and then I'm just selecting another color, or you can actually find it on top here, and then inside you can draw the details. You can actually zoom in. I'm a bit far. It's really playful.
I think it looks like she's drinking like from a children's milk bottle, but that can't be true, right?
It seems to be a bottle. I don't know what kind, but there is something milky inside for sure.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's what do you call it? Ricard, this alcohol thing we mix with water and it turns white. They drink it in the south of France. It's it's an anise flavored kind of drink.
Pastis.
Pastis, exactly. Yeah, pastis Ricard.
I like that white bottle moment with the goat, little rhyme. I'm gonna just assume it's goat milk. Awesome. It's great that Vaughn is here, the developer of this, for some troubleshooting. Thanks for answering some of those questions in the chat.
Cool. Hope I'm not saying too much crap about the software. If you're interested in the app, Vaughan is actually sometimes doing online or live streams like that, where he paints and will find a picture and work on based on a reference. And I'm discreetly having a peek at his work sometimes, not even interacting, but it's always fun to watch.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's not a 20-minute thing. It's like an hour and a half or 2 hours or more. So you have like the whole development of a picture, and it's yeah, really a nice thing to learn how to paint or how to work with digital pictures.
Is that on Discord or on Instagram? YouTube?
It's on YouTube. It's on YouTube. He has a Discord channel where he posts these kind of things, so you know exactly where he's on when he's online. He has the app, or Vaughan has an Instagram page, a Twitter page, etc.
So cool.
So I think I'm fine with the character here. I will just push the background a little bit. Try to find a way to texturize it. I think that flat tool is fine.
We have another question for you in the chat. Does this way of drawing help you with commercial work, or is it just for fun?
Good question. I would say it's for fun, but it's for sure nourishing and helping me with, I don't think it helps directly with commercial work, but it's feeding my mental space or my imagination. Or sometimes I will discover, I don't know, it can be like a color combination that I was not thinking about, because I'm actually releasing any kind of stress when I'm painting with this tool. I don't think too much. I don't try to control anything. And sometimes you have happy accidents, and it's nicer to experiment that when you don't have a client waiting for you to deliver something. So you're more free, and then you can reuse these things that you've discovered when painting on your own in your commercial work. Hope it answers the question.
Yeah. Yeah, doing the for fun work is super important.
Yeah.
What kind of commercial work do you do?
In the recent years, I've been doing character design, concept art. And I'm also teaching. I'm a teacher in an art school, doing illustration, concept art, and teaching.
Oh, nice.
But you're also an urban sketcher.
And I'm an urban sketcher.
Sometimes
yeah.
use pen and paper. I've seen you do it.
Yeah, I have actually. I didn't take my sketchbook here. It's in my backpack, but yeah, I'm actually an urban sketcher, and we are actually organizing this weekend a gathering in Strasbourg, in the east of France. If you're in Switzerland or Germany, maybe it's not so far from you, with the whole team from Urban Sketchers that is visiting us. And
I have a question about this for Karlsruhe. We are quite close.
Yeah,
and
come.
we are like 10 people just coming over for Sunday. Is this okay?
Cool. Yes, of course.
We're not registered or anything.
Yeah. Come over.
Okay,
cool.
great. Thank you.
Cool. Actually, on Sunday we have in the morning some workshops. So this is with registration. It's hard to pronounce. But we also have like sketch walks where we are just sketching all together or with small groups. And
okay, we just wanted to come for the sketch walks, but great,
cool.
Thank you.
Cool, you're very welcome. And please introduce yourself so I know who who talked to me during the live stream. It will be fun to meet.
Oh, sorry, I'm Cleo from Karlsruhe.
Cool. No, I meant when you're in Strasbourg. But then I remember your name. Yeah, Karlsruhe is very close. I don't know where I am with the time. Can you please help me with?
I didn't really check the time, but I think like you've been drawing for like not even like 15 minutes, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, sounds right.
Yeah.
Cool. I have all the time. Great. Thought I was done.
think it already looks amazing, and I think it's just like such an interesting approach.
Yeah, thank you.
And also, like, I think we often think when we think about digital sketching, we think of like these perfectly rendered pictures with the highlights in all the right places. Yeah. But yeah, this is like, it's kind of, for a digital technique, it has a lot of the surprises from analog work.
Yeah,
I think.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I meant by happy accidents before. Like, I think what happens with AI now and these people that are using this prompt stuff to generate pictures, that all these pictures are looking the same. They are very nice to look at, and they look like photography in a way. Or not. Yeah. I mean, the beginning was ugly, but it turns to be quite impressive now. But I'm not into it. But it seems to be the direction digital picture is taking, and I like to have the dirt, like when you go to a museum and you see the traces on the canvas and the thickness of the paint. And I mean, it's like a Nutella thing, on like a piece of bread with Nutella on top. I'm not sure what I'm saying. It's like it's super.
It's texturized. It's texturized. Like you feel like you can touch it.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You're like, wow, someone's
Or eat
hand
it.
made that.
Like a Nutella brot.
Yeah. I don't know what's the word in English for tartine. When you put some jam on bread, a piece of bread.
I'm not sure either.
Bread.
Bread?
Peanut butter sandwich, maybe something like that.
Yeah, but when it's not a sandwich, when it's half of the sandwich and you just put it on top.
Very specific French gastronomic
yeah,
term.
a toast. Thank
Or
you.
a slice of bread.
Thank you, thank you. My brain is busy painting. I couldn't find the word.
It's okay.
Oh, yeah.
Toast. So as you can see, I'm using a lot of different tools. You have the line tool here that sometimes can help to put back some construction lines, make stuff a little bit tighter when it needs to happen. And I like to mix these different stuff. I don't know where, I should add the goat actually. She's there for a reason. And that is where this lasso tool is super convenient. It's like you can really literally sculpt and you don't have to think about too many stuff like anatomy and things. It's really like you have a color and then I'll just find in that box here, because I didn't explain that one. You can either play with the sliders, have a real rectangle where you can point the color, and this one here is actually this similar stuff, but without the rectangle and all the colors to select on. So you're just clicking here and then dragging the mouse. I'll just put it more saturated. You drag the mouse left and right, and then it will just pan over this invisible rectangle where all the colors are. And if you go up and down, you will have more saturation or more darkness and lightness. And if you're used to that tool, it makes it very quick to find a color. If you want some yellow, you will go that way and then go up and then right and up. And then usually I'm fine-tuning things with the sliders here so that I have the exact color I want. This is very practical. But again, if you want to make things simple, you can just, you can basically just, let me see if I can find it here. I don't remember where the color selection tool is here. But yeah, it's not very important right now.
Oh, it's top right.
Top right? Thank you.
The JU.
Cool, yeah. Cool. Color box here, there you go.
Yeah.
So you can, thank you, Vaughan. You can use this thing if you're more comfortable with this. And so what I was meaning before is that here, when you go left and right, you see on the left box here, the color box, you actually have the exact same thing happening. So you can either use that box or hide it and paint with that one. It becomes like a natural thing at some point. Too green. It looks so abstract. It looks like these dogs from the Boston Electronics or Boston,
oh, yeah.
Boston Dynamics.
The evil robot dogs.
Yeah.
The goat has a great gesture here.
Yeah.
I love the shadows too.
Maybe the hardest animal to draw.
But this goat is better than the ones from the warm-up.
Yeah, you can clearly see
the ones from the warm-up were like incomprehensible to me. Like I did not get the anatomy at all.
Yeah, the foreshortenings were hard.
Yeah. And they're like skinny and bulky at the same time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Shape of their head is so unintuitive. It's like a diamond or a spade or something. But your goat is coming. It's
Little by little.
coming goat. A goat.
Really like that way of painting. It's like, I guess, like sculpting some stone or diamond or something. Like, you know, you have this raw material and little by little you just carve and you find the shape out of chaos. It's fun to do.
Are you planning to include the big water splash on the street?
Good question.
It's a really cool
Maybe
moment there, I think. All that abstraction.
I'll try.
Yay. Ooh,
So
yes.
now I have a sidewalk.
Sidewalk. It's coming together.
I should have put it a bit higher. I'm rarely using the undo thing, but for the sake of the demo, I did. That's also a fun thing with WebbyPaint and WebbyPaint. The undo at the start was, I think, quite hidden, or there is also a hardcore mode where you can actually not use it at all. And I think it contributes to making the software something that really conveys the logic of traditional media. Because usually when you paint, either you cut your canvas or paper or you stick something on top in order to hide it. But there is a trace of your time spent on your piece. And with every other software, like you name it, Illustrator, Photoshop, etc., unless you decide to keep the traces, they're gone. Like you can really hide anything in a millisecond. And I like to find the trace of people working on stuff. It's the juice or the taste of the whole thing. This is stuff I'm telling my students usually. Feels like I'm in class.
No, but it's good advice.
Yeah, keep it human.
So I think you've been drawing for roughly 25 minutes.
Okay. Should I add that wet trace on the ground quick?
Only if you want to.
I'll try.
But yeah, I'd be really interested to see how it goes with this.
Just like that.
Done.
Done.
Yeah, and then it's about finding the right hue and color temperature, etc. And then the shadow of the sidewalk is a bit darker, a bit larger. But yeah, I guess you all understood that it's really about playing with the different tools, and when you're at ease with them, it becomes very natural to, you know, play along and move around the picture. It's really fun. Just put that bucket there.
I'm feeling super inspired to try out WebbyPaint.
Cool.
Same.
Do you ever use it when you're doing plein air sketching?
Yes. Yeah.
Ooh.
I do that. The only hard part is the reflection. I have a screen thing to avoid reflection on the iPad, but it's sometimes it makes the picture a bit like glary or blurry, or it's hard to read the contrasts, etc. So yeah, it's easier in a bar or in a cafe or something, because you can hide from the shadow or from the sun. Okay, I think I'll that demo here, and maybe I'll push it later. Sometimes, like for example, if it's a client work, I rarely use WebbyPaint or WebbyPaint for client work, but sometimes if I need to find inspiration, I will use it and then do a little bit of touch-ups in Photoshop. Like for example, if I need to push that left leg or on the right side here more in the direction of the body here, these are stuff I will do in Photoshop. For example, I will just make a selection, copy and paste, or move the whole thing, while trying to keep the traces from the WebbyPaint. Otherwise, if you do everything in Photoshop on top, there is no point painting in the first place with WebbyPaint or WebbyPaint. Okay, I think I'm done for this one.
Yay, thank you.
Thank you so
Okay.
much.
So
It's so
cool.
cool.
Thanks. Merci.